October 2024. Time for our second Alaska cruise. This time aboard the Eurodam, sister ship to the New Amsterdam, our Panama Canal ship. These are the two signature class ships from Holland America. Our 7-day cruise was to take us north from Seattle, stopping in Juneau and Icy Point Strait, spending a day in Glacier Bay, stopping in Sitka and Ketchikan, and then heading south for a brief stop in Victoria before finishing our cruise back in Seattle. This was the last cruise of the season, and we were destined to have our cruise itinerary turned upside down by a large fall storm coming in from the Pacific. We would lose our stop in Icy Point Strait, our Glacier Bay day, and our stop in Sitka. Very disappointing. Our new itinerary had us wait out the storm in Juneau, spending a night and an extra day in this cool Alaskan city. When the storm abated, we cruised up Endicott Arm to see the Dawes Glacier, before heading south for a day in Ketchikan. We were disappointed with the itinerary change, but Alaska fall weather is what it is, and our cruise was magical regardless. We're on the valet parking shuttle to the ship. Are you excited, Lori?
Oh my gosh.
Rick's less excited.
He's too cool to be excited. I was like, you can't store all these things.
Okay, Stevie, we're getting ready to board the Eurodam.
Hello.
Same as the New Amsterdam, just different. We have new guests today. They look reasonably excited. Not too excited. Time to find our staterooms. This trip we are on the 5th floor, the veranda deck. Aft, on the port side in stateroom 5174. Our first 2 days of the cruise were sea days, as we left Seattle at 3 p.m. on the 28th of September to head north off the west coast of Vancouver Island and Haida Gwaii before arriving in Juneau at 12:30 on September 30th. Well, it's day one of our Alaska cruise. Well, actually day two, because we left Seattle yesterday around 3. Bit of a bumpy night, and today we are going past Vancouver Island, but on the west side, or in the Pacific. Thought we'd be going through the inside passage, and that would allow us to wave at my sister in Nanaimo, but that's not to be. Sometime, I think tonight or this afternoon, we're going to pass the tip of Vancouver Island, and then head into Hecate Strait between Haida Gwaii and BC. So we will, well, the BC mainland, because Haida Gwaii is part of BC, and heading for Alaska. Juneau's our first stop. Kind of wrong side of the ship today and be able to see Vancouver Island. I'm not sure if we're close enough. We'll go check it out later and have a look. But right now, here's what we got off our balcony. Actually, a very beautiful day. Somewhere out there, Japan. Once we get north of Haida Gwaii, we will leave the open Pacific through Frederick Sound to enter Stevens Passage for our trip up to Juneau. Stevens Passage is one of the great whale watching areas in the world.
morning, a great place for whale watching. After Stephen's Passage, we'll
So there's been a change in our itinerary, bad storm coming in. So we are still carrying on to Juneau, but then we're going to be in Juneau for a couple of days now, looks like. But now we're going up to do some, hopefully, whale watching off the back of the ship as we go through Stephen's Passage. Should be cool. A little bit of a colder day today, but we bundled up and this should be a fun day. It's very windy out here today.
It's super windy, but it's fun.
Quite chilly too. We're waiting for the guide boat who's going to tell us about what we're going to see in the way of whales and dolphins and orcas.
Ross is a wildlife expert.
The Loch Ness Monster may be here. We're not sure. Anyways, so we're waiting for that to start. And very windy, so it's probably going to sound very windy in the video. But that's the way it is in Alaska in late September. Get wet, so we're gonna get blown around a bit. Let's hope we catch some fish.
Make it to the lifeboats.
Change of headgear. It was too windy for the rain hat.
Our vessel today, Russ down there on the left will help you guys on the boat.
Our guides were optimistic that we would get into some fish today, probably coho, as they are the last salmon species to enter the rivers to spawn. We would have 4 lines in the water at once, 2 on the left and 2 on the right. Using downriggers, they would all be at different depths. How could we possibly not catch a bunch of salmon today?
We good there, Russ? Ready in the back. Okay. All right, give her. Chill with this guy for a minute. We're tucking behind him, but we're so close. I'm just gonna give you guys this for a minute, okay? Let's kind of idle here-ish. Gotta get too long.
So far, the salmon weren't cooperating, but we did see a couple of humpback whales not far from the boat.
So far, the fish aren't biting. The fish are hiding. But we're hopeful. Always hopeful.
The dam?
Despite trying a number of areas at different depths and different speeds, the fish just weren't biting. Probably a combination of being at the end of the salmon season and having this big low pressure system bearing down on us, which some feel affects the fish's activity. We were still hopeful though, as the guides had not been skunked all season. Despite catching no fish, the charter was a great experience. Hearing the two guides' interesting stories and getting to experience the beauty of the Alaska waters near Juneau with my brother made for a very special day.
So we got skunked on the fishing trip today, but I'm getting a cocktail in the ocean bar, so it's all good. Well, we're supposed to be in Glacier Bay today, but a big storm came in yesterday and they kept us in port in Juneau overnight. So we leave today about 5. We are going to miss Glacier Bay, but they're going to take us past another glacier as we go through some other scenic site on the Ketchikan tomorrow. So that was disappointing, but the weather is the weather. And this is Alaska in October.
Hello.
Hello, guys. Smoke is all gone, Stevie.
And now it's time to head off to the dining room for another fabulous supper. after an extra night and day in Juneau because of the storm, we are leaving and heading southwest, where tomorrow morning we will head up Endicott Arm to see Dawes Glacier and have some of Holland America's world-famous pea soup. Endicott Arm was absolutely stunning. Good morning. It's a beautiful morning in Alaska. Today we're cruising up the Endicott Arm for a couple of hours, and then we're going to see the Dawes Glacier. I think we're about an hour away from getting to the glacier, so lots of small little icebergs. Got some name for them, I can't remember, floating by so far. But anyway, it's going to be a spectacular day, so we'll try and get a bunch of other footage and stuff as we go along. Time to spin the ship around and head back up Endicott Arm away from Dawes Glacier. A very early morning arrival into Ketchikan.
It's raining in Ketchikan today. What a surprise.
Ketchikan is a very rainy spot, getting almost 150 inches of rain every year. And October is the rainiest month. Great time. It's kind of like Haida Gwaii. It only rains twice a week. Once for 4 days and once for 3 days. One of the coolest places to visit in Ketchikan is Creek Street, a historic boardwalk perched on pilings above Ketchikan Creek. This former red light district is now home to lots of cool, eclectic stores. And at this time of year, lots of spawning salmon and the seagulls and seals that are feeding them.
Oh, there's the seal. Just come a bit closer, we can see him better. Maybe we'll be able to see him underwater in the video. It's the conning stem coming into dock. We last saw her in Juneau, stuck there overnight like we were.
Time to get back on board the Eurodam for our 2-day trip south to our short stop in Victoria on the southern tip of Vancouver Island.
There once was a ship that put to sea, and the name of that ship was the Billy O.T. The winds blew harder, bow drip down, blow me bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She had not been 2 weeks from shore, and down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go.
Well, it's a day at sea today, and we finish in Victoria tonight around 8 o'clock. We left Ketchikan yesterday around noon and went through the Hecate Strait between Haida Gwaii and the BC mainland. Now we're west of Vancouver Island. We sailed off into a storm last night and had 15-foot swells. It was a very rough night. Thankfully, neither Steph or I have any problems with seasickness, so it wasn't an issue, but a pretty wild night. And today it's also pretty rough, so they've emptied the pools. So I guess I'm not going for a spa today. And we're going to just kind of hang out and get a coffee in a few minutes. And into Victoria tonight just for a very short stop. And then off the boat in Seattle tomorrow morning. Going to start the time lapse for coming into Victoria. We're just entering the Juan de Fuca Strait, so we should get some good shots in a couple of minutes. We arrive in Victoria around 9:30, 10 after dark, but we should still get a nice view of the city lights.
We were late arriving in Victoria as the big swells had meant the ship had to travel at a reduced speed, so the trip took longer than usual. Just a little quick stop in Victoria to satisfy the Passenger Vessel Service Act of 1886.
We've arrived in Seattle. Time to disembark. Well, it's Disembarkation Day in Seattle. We arrived very early this morning, so I wasn't able to get a time-lapse video, but there's some pretty boats behind us. We're just going to head out and get a coffee and wait our turn to get off and gather our luggage. We got a shuttle back to our car, and then we're going to head south to the airport to drop our other party members off at the airport before we turn ourselves north to cross the Canadian border, get home to Kamloops about 5 o'clock today. Nice easy day today. Waiting for our luggage tags to be called so we can get on the ship and collect our luggage. There, Stevie's waving. Goodbye, Eurodam. I'm sure we'll see you again.
It's the paparazzi. Hi. Paparazzi.
Another cruise comes to an end. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.